Hi guys, it's Coach IngridKZ. I'm making this video to talk about the really fun topic of calories and how to determine your ideal calorie level for your goals. So I'm going to include an equation. Actually, it's a link to an article that has the equation in it. It's the Harris-Benedict equation, and it is widely used among fitness professionals to determine a good starting point for your caloric intake. When you go through this equation and you're looking at your daily activity levels, take into account, don't let mental or emotional fatigue register as activity. And what I mean by that is you can feel like you're really stressed out and exhausted by your day job, but you may actually spend most of your day sitting. So don't let that trip you up. Give yourself an honest assessment of how physically active you are at work. I largely work at a computer, so even though days I come home I'm exhausted, I know that I really am not physically exhausted. It's other factors playing into that. I also recommend that you pick, if you kind of feel like you're between energy output, between an activity level, you're not sure if you're moderate or really active, pick the two that you're closest to, pick the two activity levels that you're in between, so that you give yourself a range. And that really is the most realistic way to get a good range. So check out that equation and figure out your number where you are right now. And I would suggest trying to hit that range. Try to do it for 4 days or a full week. That does mean that you would be counting your calories. Now, I like to encourage people to have a calorie awareness, which does mean counting your calories. It does not mean cutting your calories, and that is a mistake that many of us make, and I have made over the years and years. We turn into playing this game of how low can you go, and there's so much media out there. There are so many diet plans out there that have you cut to ridiculously low numbers that are not healthy for anyone, and basically what it does is it messes with your metabolism. You will feel not great. You will feel really hungry. Your energy levels will not be good, and it will mess up your metabolism because your body will go into starvation mode and it starts actually holding on to things and storing them as fat because it thinks it's starving. And then, of course, we feel like we fail because our willpower gives out and we're hungry and we want to eat everything. And then at some point we break and we do. So it's a really bad cycle to get into. Another thing that propels this phenomenon of seeing how low you can go is thinking that you have to cut calories to lose weight. And it is the emphasis on the weight, on that number on the scale changing, that also messes with our heads. So I will tell you, when I started in Sandy, I wanted to get down to 153. That is like an amazingly low weight for me, actually, but I have been at 153 when I felt like I looked great, and I have also been at 153 where I looked gross, and that is about body composition. Body composition is what I preach. I am now settled around 164. And I can tell you that over the holidays, for 3 weeks, I think I exercised 3 times. I was very careful about what I ate. I maintained my weight of 164. However, any muscle tone I had is now tucked into a comfy layer of insulation. So I am working on eating clean and getting that definition back. Is my weight going to change? Probably not much. So those are just some examples. Again, the number on the scale, it's a piece of data, but I strongly encourage you to work on changing your body composition. Don't let that scale determine your happiness for the day. So that being said, do the Harris-Benedict equation, see what you come up with, and you may really be surprised. Another thing is, if you get to a range and you feel like you're force feeding yourself because you're trying to hit that calorie range, don't force feed yourself. It may just take a bit for your metabolism to get revved up. As you get further into your training programs, your metabolism will rev up. It's kind of like slow to start, and then your body adjusts and figures out what's going on. You also then are becoming more efficient. Your body is becoming more efficient at using your food for energy. So don't be surprised if in a few weeks you kind of feel another jump up in what you need to eat. Depending on what your goals are, now for those of you who are focusing on performance for your Ironman training and things like that, definitely cutting calories is not a good way to go because your body will just be depleted. If you are trying to gain muscle mass or gain weight, which I don't think any of us are in this group, but maybe, in that case you may feel like you're force feeding yourself as long as it's healthy stuff. But again, there's a range for that, so you can figure out what's realistic for you. So the opposite of force feeding yourself is, if you're hungry, eat something. If you feel hungry or you are starting to bonk on your workouts, it could be that you are not ingesting enough calories during the day, or it could be a matter of timing your food. So, example, I work out first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. I get up, I drink my E&E, I drink water, and then I exercise. So my blood sugar is low because I've been in a fasting state while I'm sleeping. So right after I finish working out, I have something. I have either a scoop of the recovery drink, which could also be like a Gatorade or a Powerade, not a whole jug of it, just like 8 ounces, like 1 serving. Water, and then I'll often have a hard-boiled egg because it's really quick protein, and by that point in the morning I am post-workout but in the middle of getting my daughter ready for school and getting me ready for work. So then I have a shake typically for my breakfast, which is like on the way to work or after I get to work. So when you're working out, it depends on what time you're working out. If you're working out later in the day, it can depend on what you've eaten right before your workout or within the couple hours before your workout. Do your workout, and regardless, the hour window after you exercise is the most important time for recovery for your body. So if you're working out late in the day and maybe you did work out on an empty stomach, have something easily digestible, ideally, within an hour after your workout. It also makes it so that your body doesn't feel starving 2 hours later. So if I worked out really hard and I don't eat anything for 2 hours, of course I'm going to feel famished, and your blood sugar is going to be like, what are you doing to me? So it could come down to timing. So this is something to experiment with over the next week or two, and actually throughout this whole challenge. It's a constantly changing thing. When I started Insanity and I used this equation to figure out where I was, it told me I was to lose weight between 1,600 and 1,800 calories. I knew from my own experience that me trying to hit 1,600 calories, I'm starving. I'm miserable. I'm moody. It isn't good. So I really stuck around 1,800 calories. I tell you, 3 weeks into that program, I was bonking. I was hungry. I wasn't able to really kill it in my workouts. So I upped it to 2,200 calories. That's a lot of calories. And I still lost 9 pounds. 9 pounds on the scale, and my body physically changed dramatically. So my composition changed a lot. So I guess it's a lot of examples. And calories are a tricky thing. So play with it, find your range using this equation, and see how you do with it. And get in the habit of having calorie awareness. Counting your calories doesn't have to be nitpicking about, oh, I ate 5 more than I was supposed to. No, you want to be in a range of, $200 to $300 calorie swing probably each day. You want to be within that, and it'll depend on a lot of factors. So let me know your comments, let me know your feedback, let me know your questions, and we'll go from there. So I'll put the link for that equation below, and then let us know what your count is and if that surprises you. Okay? Bye!